You think you know yourself. You believe you are good, kind, just moral. But what if I told you that under the right circumstances, you could become the very thing you swore you'd never be? That's the terrifying reality of the Lucifer Effect, a concept introduced by psychologist Philip Zimbardo, which reveals that even the most virtuous people can turn cruel, oppressive, and even monstrous when placed in certain environments. You might think, not me, I would never do that. But history, psychology, and raw human nature say otherwise. Let me take you into the depths of human nature, the part we all pretend doesn't exist. The people we love can be the reason we turn dark, but sometimes the enemy isn't a stranger, an authority figure, or an outside force. Sometimes it's the people we love the most. Love is powerful, but love, when mixed with pain, betrayal, or desperation, can become dangerous. Think about it. The person who hurt you so deeply, you swore you'd never let anyone get that close again. The betrayal that made you realize kindness is a weakness in the wrong hands. The heartbreak that turned your love into anger, your softness into steel. Sometimes evil is born from wounds, from the best friend who stabbed you in the back, from the parent who was supposed to protect you but instead broke you, from the lover who made you believe in forever, only to shatter you into pieces. Hurt people. And in our quest to never be hurt again, we often become exactly what destroyed us. The question is, will you break the cycle, or will you pass the pain forward? Good people, bad situations, the dangerous illusion. We love to divide the world into good guys and bad guys. It's comforting. It makes sense. But reality is not that simple. Think of someone you admire, someone you see as a genuinely good person. Now consider this. Given enough power, pressure, or fear, could they betray their own morals? Could you? The answer is yes. We've seen it in history. We've seen it in experiments. We've seen it in ordinary people who became soldiers, police officers, prison guards, cult members, and even dictators. Humans don't snap into evil overnight. It's a slow, seductive transformation, one small justification at a time. You've already felt it in your own life. That time you ganged up on someone with your friends because you didn't want to be the outsider. That time you stayed silent when you saw something wrong because speaking up felt dangerous. That time anger or power made you say or do something you never thought you were capable of. You felt it, didn't you? That little pull, that whisper in your mind. It starts small, and that's why it's terrifying. The Stanford Prison Experiment, a nightmare in real time. One of the most chilling examples of this is the Stanford Prison Experiment, 1971. A group of normal, mentally stable college students was divided into two roles, guards and prisoners. It was supposed to last 2 weeks. It barely lasted 6 days. The guards, young men with no history of cruelty, quickly became sadistic, humiliating the prisoners, abusing them, stripping them of dignity. The prisoners in turn broke down, losing their identities within days. Why? Because power is intoxicating. And when people are placed in roles where cruelty is normalized, they adapt. Think about your own life. Think about those in positions of unchecked power. The teacher who humiliated a student because they knew they could. The boss who became a tyrant once they got promoted. The police officer who abuses authority, justifying it as discipline. They didn't start off as villains, they became them. And if they could, so could you. Why do good people turn bad? You might be thinking, but I have strong morals, I would never do that. Maybe. But here's the brutal truth. Morality is not fixed, it's malleable. It bends under pressure, it shifts with power, it crumbles when fear takes over. Here's how it happens. Dehumanization. You stop seeing others as fully human. They deserve it. Obedience to authority. You do things you normally wouldn't because someone above you says it's right. Group mentality. You follow the crowd, even if it means going against your values. Small justifications. One tiny wrong feels harmless until it snowballs into something monstrous. Evil doesn't appear with a dramatic moment of decision. It creeps in through a series of small, almost unnoticeable choices. So, what can you do? The most dangerous people are the ones who believe they are immune to darkness, the ones who say, I could never, because they don't question themselves. They don't check their own shadows, and that's how they fall. But self-awareness is your weapon. The only way to fight the Lucifer effect is to recognize that you are capable of it, that everyone is. Watch how power changes you. Notice when you justify small wrongs. Refuse to stay silent when you see cruelty. Never forget that darkness doesn't come in black and white. It comes in shades of gray. And most importantly, heal. Because when you don't heal from the pain others caused you, you risk becoming someone else's villain. The real question isn't, are you good or bad? It's, what choices will you make when the moment of testing comes? Because one day, it will.